Hello, today we're going to have a look at making a spider, and the spider is this thing here with the legs. You can see that in the centre of this spider I've got a glass-headed pin, and the reason for that is because the tension on it is quite extreme compared to the others. Now, to make a spider you've got your diagonal patterns here. We're going to be working on this spider, and you can see that I've got two sets of bobbins there and the base bobbin. On this side of the spider I've got two sets of bobbins coming in and another base pair, that's this pair here. Now, the first thing I need to do with the spider is to make its legs. So none of these have got any twists on at the moment, so each of these is going to have two twists. We've got two legs coming in this side, it's going to have two twists. 1, 2, 1, 2. Remember, it's right over left. And the same for these legs. 1, 2, 1, 2. We now have our spider legs that are ready, and these will form what you'll see here in that. It'll be that one and that one and that one and that one that will be formed by this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the second pair and we're going to work them through the third pair and the fourth pair, and it's just going to be 1, 2 to the left, 1 to the right, and then continuing with that pair, 1 to the right, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. And so the pair that was here has now gone through both of the pairs coming from this side of the spider. And then I'm going to put those to a side, and I'm going to come back to this pair. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go through the two pairs that I have here by 1 to the right, 2 to the left, 1 to the right, 1 to the right, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. And now I have both pairs that started out. The ones that started out here are at this side, the ones that started out here are at this side. And then I'm going to take a glass-headed pin and go up underneath that to the hole that's in the middle there. I'm going to pin into it. Now I'm going to pull very gently on each of these in turn, and you can see that the spider legs are starting to be created there. You can see that? Don't know if it's capturing that okay. So now I've made my first 4 legs. I've now got my 4 pairs of bobbins, and I'm going to work them, no twisting, I'm going to work them back through the other 2 pairs. So the second pair is going to go through these 2 pairs to begin with. 1 to the right, 2 to the left, 1 to the right, 1 to the right, 2 to the left, 1 to the right, and put that pair to one side. I'm going to go back now and pick up these, and we're going to go through the other 2 again. 1 to the right, 2 to the left, 1 to the right, 1 to the right, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. And you can see that I've got quite a tangle of threads there, and that's fine. That's the bottom half of the spider's body. The next thing we need to do is build the other legs. So to do that, I'm going to go to each pair, I'm going to put 2 twists on again. 1, 2, right over left, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And it looks quite messy at the moment, but what you'll see happens when I bring in the pair from the side that was the holding pair there. When I work that pair, which you can see has come down on the diagonal here, this one is going to be working into this pinhole here. So I take the first leg that's available to me, and 1 to the right, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Excuse me. And I'm going to pin up between them into that hole there and pull them tight. And then the same under the pin, one to the right, two to the left, one to the right, and tighten. So that's another leg made. This pair of weavers that's come out on this side of things, on that last stitch I did, is the pair that I'm now using to go into the next hole here. So we go one to the right, two to the left, one to the right, and pin between. And ease that through, make a little bit of pressure onto that, and again the same, one, two to the right, and lock that off. Now those two have been done. I'm going to ignore this one now, and I'm going to work on the ones for these holes here. So I have my legs made with the two crossovers, and I'm bringing in my pair that came down on the diagonal along this part here. So the left hand of those goes, and we're working into this stitch now, and this hole here. First pair of legs available on the right, one to the right, two to the left, one to the right, and we're going to pin it into that hole there. Pull it tight, one to the right, two to the left, one to the right, and tighten. Now we've got those two, and the one that is on this side is going to become the pair of bobbins that I use to weave the next leg into this hole here. Goes one to the right, two to the left, one to the right, and pin. Lock it off, pull that tight, one to the right, two to the left, one to the right, and pin it off. Now that's made our spider, but we've got to finish off this last stitch, which we just get that out of the way, which is going to go into this hole here. And those are the two nearest threads that I've got, two sets of bobbins there. I'm going to go one to the right, two to the left, one to the right, and I'm going to pin that. Pull it tight, and the same again underneath. Whatever you do above the pin, you do below the pin. And there's our spider. Now, just on this occasion, I'll take this pin out so you can see it more clearly. You wouldn't normally take these out until you'd worked a little further down. But there's the spider that's been made. You can see he's got his body, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 legs. Not all spiders have 8 legs. Sometimes these diamond patterns, let me move those out of the way, sometimes these diamond patterns have more than 2 legs to make. It just makes the diamond that much larger, but they're called spiders regardless of how many legs they have. Any questions, please ask, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Have fun.